Last night, while everyone slept, I was there. I saw you turn your face into the pillow to muffle the sound of your crying. I saw your tears soak the fabric and you thought no one knew. I saw you stare at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, wondering if I was really listening. You thought you were alone in that dark room, but I was sitting on the edge of your bed, counting every tear that fell. That lump in your throat you tried to swallow, that pain in your chest that seemed endless, that silent scream trapped inside you. I felt it all. And today, at this very moment, I've come to tell you something that will completely change the way you face these lonely nights. Because what you don't know is that every tear shed in the silence of the early morning has a power you never imagined. How many times have you pretended to be asleep while tears silently streamed down your face? I know. I was there every single time. On those nights when loneliness seemed to suffocate you, when anxiety wouldn't let you breathe, when you covered your mouth with your hands so no one could hear your sobs, I was there catching every tear in my hands. You think you cry alone, but let me reveal a truth. The room where you cry before bed is the place where I work the most. It is there, in that darkness that seems to swallow you, that I prepare the greatest turning points of your life. Because there is something about nighttime crying that moves my heart in a special way. Do you know why you're watching this now? It's no coincidence. I led you here because it's time for you to understand what really happens when you cry yourself to sleep thinking no one knows. Today you'll discover why I've allowed these nights of tears, what I'm preparing through them, and how everything will change from the moment you understand this message. If this word is already touching your heart, subscribe to this channel now and confirm in the comments, "Lord, I am here." I subscribed because I love you and I want to hear you. And also tell me from which country and city you are watching, because I want to know where these precious tears I have collected come from. Stay until the end, because at the very end of this video, I will whisper a specific word to your heart. When you write this word in the comments, doors that seemed closed will begin to open, and you will understand that your nightly tears were never in vain. I see every tear that falls in silence. You close the bedroom door, turn off the lights, lie down on the bed, and then it happens. That wave of emotion you've held back all day finally overflows. The tears begin to fall, one after another, and you don't even try to hold them back anymore. There, in the darkness, you can finally be real. You don't have to smile, you don't have to pretend everything's okay, you don't have to be strong for anyone. But let me tell you what you don't see. The very moment your first tear hits the pillow, the angels around you kneel in reverence. They know something sacred is happening, because sincere weeping before me is one of the most powerful prayers there is. You think you're just crying, but in fact you're releasing a spiritual frequency that pierces the heavens and reaches directly to my throne. Remember that night a few weeks ago when you cried so much your eyes were swollen in the morning? You thought no one noticed you used cold compresses, makeup, sunglasses, but I saw it. I saw it when you looked in the mirror this morning and barely recognized yourself. I saw it when you washed your face with ice-cold water trying to hide it. And most of all, I saw the real reason for those tears, that disappointment you didn't tell anyone, that betrayal that hurt your soul, that dream that seems ever more distant. Every tear has an address in heaven. I don't just see them, I collect them. It is written that I keep all your tears in my wineskin, that they are all recorded in my book. Do you know what that means? It means that none of your pain is wasted. Every salty drop that ran down your face while everyone else slept is being transformed into something precious at this very moment. That financial situation that makes you cry in secret, that relationship that hurts you in silence, that illness you face without telling anyone, that job you lost and don't know how you'll pay the bills. I know it all. And what's more, I'm using each of those tears as raw material to build your miracle. Because in the spiritual realm, sincere tears are worth more than gold. They are the currency that moves my hand on your behalf. If this revelation is touching your heart right now, leave an "I believe" in the comments. Share this video with someone you know who also weeps in secret, because my word needs to reach broken hearts. And tell me, how long have you been crying before falling asleep? Write the word precious in the comments as a declaration that you now understand that your tears have infinite value to me. The pillow that holds your secrets is my altar. That pillow where you shed your tears every night, has become a sacred altar. You don't realize it, but divine encounters that transform destinies take place there. When you hug your pillow and cry, you're not just hugging an object. You're being hugged by me. Every fiber of that fabric that absorbs your tears becomes a channel of direct communication with me. I know the secrets you tell only to your pillow, those words whispered between sobs. I can't take it anymore. Why me? How long, Lord? No one loves me. I'm tired of fighting. I heard every single one of them, and not just heard, I answered. The problem is, you were so immersed in your pain that you didn't notice my answers coming. Remember when you cried because you felt rejected, abandoned, forgotten? That very night, while you slept with your face still wet with tears, I was writing new chapters of your story. I was moving people, creating circumstances, opening doors you never knew existed. That job that appeared out of the blue days later, that unexpected message from someone wanting to help you, that money that came in when you needed it most, none of these were coincidences. They were direct responses to the tears you shed on that pillow. There is supernatural power when someone breaks down before me in secret. The world values those who cry in public, those who share their pain on social media, those who seek comfort in the crowd. But I value those who seek me in secret, who pour out their soul when no one is watching, who trust their deepest secrets only to me. Because this kind of intimacy with me generates rewards that no one can take away from you. If possible, and only if possible, contribute with love using the thank you button. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give. For it is written, God loves a cheerful giver and multiplies the seed of the sower. Whoever contributes with any amount and a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on The Voice of God, Heals Diseases of the Soul channel, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude and showered with divine blessings released in prayer. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, and not one of them will fail to bear fruit. I see in secret, and I reward in plain sight. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. Do you know what moves me most? It's when you cry, and yet you pray. When your heart is broken, but you can still say, I trust in the Lord. When everything is going wrong, yet you whisper, Thy will be done. This kind of faith amid tears moves mountains in the spiritual world. Demons tremble when they see someone crying and worshiping at the same time, because they know this kind of worship breaks chains and unlocks extraordinary victories. Tonight, when you lie down and the tears come again, remember, that pillow is holy ground. It's where my presence manifests itself in a special way. It's where the greatest miracles are gestated. Keep pouring your soul there, because each tear is watering the seeds of your victory. And very soon, you will exchange the pillow wet with tears for one where you will rest in peace with your heart overflowing with gratitude for what I have done. Pause now and think. How many answers have you received that were born from tears shed in secret? Share in the comments by typing Alta Vivo and tell us which city you're watching from, because I want to bless every place where my words are reaching us now. Your tears are my precious pearls. In heaven, there is a special place where I keep your tears. They are not kept like ordinary water, but like priceless pearls. Every tear you shed, thinking you were wasting your suffering, was actually creating spiritual riches that will soon manifest in the physical world. You cry thinking you are losing, but you are investing in the heavenly bank where the reward is multiplied 1,000-fold. That night when you cried yourself to sleep from exhaustion, when you woke up with your pillow still wet and had to turn it over, when your eyes burned from crying so much, I transformed each of those tears into seeds of prosperity. What you don't know is that the greatest riches in your life are being generated precisely in those moments of profound brokenness. I'm going to reveal something few understand. Your nightly tears have the power to cancel spiritual debts, break generational curses, and open portals of abundance that have been closed for generations. When you cry alone in your room, You are making a powerful spiritual transaction. You are exchanging your pain for my provision, your anguish for my peace, your despair for my hope. Remember that person who hurt you deeply? The one who made you cry for nights on end? I used your tears to prepare a table before your adversaries. While you wept, I was preparing your revenge. Not the human revenge that destroys, but the divine revenge that restores and exalts. Soon you will see. Those who made you cry in secret will see you smiling in public, and it won't be a forced smile, but a genuine one, because I will completely transform your reality. The tears you shed for your children, for your parents, for your marriage, for your shattered dreams, they were all investments in the kingdom, and the kingdom always pays with supernatural interest. That rebellious child you cry for in secret will return transformed. That marriage that seems over will be restored. That illness that makes you cry in pain will be healed. That impossible financial situation will be reversed. Because my pearls, your tears, have purchasing power in the spiritual world. But I need you to understand one thing. The value of your tears is not in their quantity, but in their sincerity. A single tear shed with genuine faith is worth more than 1,000 tears of self-pity. When you cry to me, not just because of the pain, but trusting that I can transform everything, you activate heavenly powers that begin to work immediately in your favor. There is abundance reserved for you. Doors of prosperity will open. Financial resources will flow from unexpected sources. Opportunities will appear as if out of nowhere. Prosperous relationships will be established. All of this is already decreed, sealed, and stored, waiting for the right time to manifest. And that time is closer than you think. If you believe your tears are precious pearls before me, write pearls of heaven in the comments. Let your heart receive this truth. You do not weep in vain. Each tear is building your palace of victories. Like this video if this revelation has transformed your perspective on suffering. And prepare yourself, because the next tears you will shed will be of joy. While the world sleeps, I work for you. The early morning is my special work shift. While the city sleeps, while the streets are empty, while silence reigns, I am working intensely for you. Those hours between midnight and dawn, when you are crying, thinking the world has forgotten you, are precisely the times when I move most on your behalf. Have you ever noticed that it's always in the early morning when the pain hits hardest? That loneliness screams loudest, that fear seems greatest. This is no coincidence. The enemy knows that the early morning is when you're most vulnerable, when your defenses are low, when physical exhaustion is compounded by emotional exhaustion. He tries to attack you at these times, thinking you're alone, but he doesn't know that it's precisely at these times that I am closest. Every time you wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing, with that inexplicable anguish, wanting to cry without even knowing why, know that it's not just anxiety, it's a calling. I'm calling you to a secret meeting, because decisions about your life are being made in the spiritual world at that very moment, and your presence in prayer can change everything. Shall share a mystery. While you were crying last night, I was having a conversation with my angels about you. I was giving specific orders, sending provisions, canceling attacks, opening paths. That promotion you'll soon receive, that healing that will manifest, that reconciliation that will happen. It's all being planned now, in the early hours of your morning tears. The process works like this. Your nightly tears rise like incense before my throne. They reach me laden with information. Each tear tells a story, carries a request, expresses a need. I read each one and immediately mobilize my heavenly army. Orders are given, strategies are devised, battles are won, all while you sit there, weeping in your room, thinking nothing is happening. But here's the most powerful part. When you cry in the middle of the night and still manage to worship, when your heart is broken, but you still manage to say, I love you, Lord, when everything is dark, but you choose to believe in my light, you unleash a spiritual authority that makes all hell tremble. Because praise through tears is the most powerful weapon in the spiritual realm. In the coming nights, when tears come, remember, you're not just crying, you're participating in heavenly meetings, where your future is being defined. Your tears are votes being counted, evidence being presented in your favor, arguments that are ensuring your victory. And very soon you'll understand that the best things in your life were born in those tear-soaked dawns. Have you ever felt my presence during those early mornings? Have you ever noticed that even when you were crying, there was an inexplicable peace? Share this by writing night work and let others know that I never sleep or slumber when it comes to caring for you. Dawn is when I get closest. There's something about dawn that makes it special for divine encounters. It's when the veil between heaven and earth is thinnest. It's when my presence manifests itself most intensely. And that's exactly why you often wake up crying without explanation. Your spirit senses my approach and becomes emotional, even before your mind understands what's happening. When the clock strikes 3 a.m. and you're curled up in bed, tears streaming silently, I'm not just watching from afar. I'm sitting beside you, sometimes lying right there with you, feeling every quickening beat of your heart, hearing every thought that passes through your mind, absorbing every emotion that overflows from your soul. You know that feeling that someone is in the room with you, that shiver that isn't from the cold, that sudden peace in the midst of despair. It's me. It's always been me. Every time you felt you weren't alone, even when you were physically alone, it was my presence filling your room, transforming that space of pain into a sanctuary of healing. I'll reveal why I allow you to cry so much at these times. Because it's in the wee hours that your ego sleeps, your defenses fall, your masks are removed. It's when you're completely vulnerable, completely real, completely open. And it's this authentic version of you that I love most. Not the you everyone knows during the day, but the you that only I know in the wee hours. How many times have you wanted to give up at 4 a.m.? How many times have you thought it wasn't worth it to see the sun rise again? I was there each time, whispering words to your spirit that your conscious mind couldn't hear, but that your heart held. That's why you always found the strength to carry on, even when you thought you had none left. Dawn is my favorite time to work miracles in the lives of those who cry in secret, because those who seek me in the darkness deserve to see my light in a special way. Those who shed tears when no one is watching deserve smiles that everyone will see. Those who cry out in the silence of the night deserve answers that will echo for generations. Right now, as you watch this, I am preparing your next few nights. They will still contain tears, yes, but they will be different tears. Tears of gratitude, of joy, of relief, of fulfillment, because the cycle of lonely crying is coming to an end. What comes now is a time of harvest, a time of celebration, a time of witness. Are you feeling my presence now? That warmth in your chest, that lump in your throat, those tears that want to fall? Let it flow, don't hold it back, because even though it's daytime, I'm creating a dawn atmosphere around you now. This is our intimate moment, our appointed meeting, our conversation that no one else needs to understand. Declare in the comments, Holy Dawn, if you recognize that your most difficult moments were also your most sacred moments with me. And tell me, at what time of the morning do you usually find yourself with me through tears? Your secret cry moves the heavens. Every time you cry in secret, something extraordinary happens in the spiritual world. The heavens literally move. Angels are mobilized. Decrees are signed. Battles are won. You think you're just shedding tears on your pillow, but you're activating celestial powers that alter the course of history, yours and that of generations. There is a spiritual frequency in sincere tears that no evil force can block. When you weep with a broken heart before me, you are sending a signal that traverses all dimensions, breaks through all barriers, and reaches directly to the center of my heart. It is as if each tear has my name written on it, and I cannot ignore it when I am called upon with such sincerity. Let me tell you what happened the last time you cried yourself to sleep. First, your guardian angels positioned themselves around your bed, creating a shield of protection. Then the accusations the enemy was making against you in the heavenly court were immediately cancelled. Then, doors that had been closed for years began to open in the spiritual world. And finally, blessings that had been withheld were released to begin their journey to you. You need to understand the legal power of your tears in the spiritual realm. Each tear is evidence in your favor. When the accuser tries to say you don't deserve to be blessed, I present your tears as proof that you've already paid too high a price. When he tries to block your blessings, I present your nightly tears as proof that you've suffered enough. But the most powerful thing happens when you cry for others. When you shed tears for your lost child, your sick parent, your depressed friend, your estranged spouse. Those tears have intercessory power that can change destinies. I've seen prodigal sons return home because a mother wept in secret. I've seen marriages restored because someone cried into their pillow. I've seen healings happen because tears were shed in the solitude of the early morning. The secret few know is this: secret crying has more power than 1,000 words spoken in public. A sincere tear shed in your bedroom is worth more than hours of emotionless prayer. Because I don't seek performance, I seek genuine hearts. And nothing is more genuine than someone who cries when no one is watching, who breaks down when there's no audience, who pours out their soul when only I can hear. Right now, I decree that the tears you shed this week have already begun to produce results. Changes are happening right now because of what you cried yesterday. People are being moved, situations are being aligned, resources are being directed, all because of your secret tears. And before the end of this month, you will see with your own eyes the power of what was sown with tears. If you believe in the power of your secret tears, write, "I move the heavens right now." Leave this comment as a declaration of faith that your tears were not in vain. And prepare your heart, because the next tears will be different. They will be tears of seeing the impossible happen. The answer is already on its way. As you watch this message, the answer to what made you cry last night is already in motion. It's not an empty promise, it's a spiritual reality happening now. What you prayed for through your tears, what you cried out for in the silence of your room, what you whispered when you thought I wasn't listening, it's all been processed in heaven and delivery is on its way. The problem is that you're so used to delays, to waiting, to silence, that you can't even believe this time will be different. But I'm here to tell you, the time for waiting is over. The tears you've shed have already reached their full measure. The wineskin where I hold your tears has already overflowed, and when that happens, I'm obliged to act. It's a spiritual law that not even I can break. In the coming days, you'll begin to see signs, small confirmations that something has changed. Doors that were blocked will begin to open on their own. People who ignored you will seek you out. Opportunities that seemed dead will be resurrected. Resources you never expected will appear. And you'll know it all began on those tearful nights. The answer comes in waves. First, you'll feel an inexplicable peace, even if your circumstances haven't changed yet. Then, you'll begin receiving words, messages, and dreams that confirm something is coming. Then, the first practical changes will appear, small but significant. And finally, the full manifestation of what you cried for will come true. But I need to warn you about something. When the answer arrives, it may come in disguise. Sometimes I send the solution through people you didn't expect. Sometimes the door that opens isn't the one you were looking for. Sometimes the miracle comes through a path you never imagined. So, keep all your spiritual senses alert. Don't reject anything in the coming days just because it didn't come the way you planned. That job you cried about, someone is already being prepared to call you. That reconciliation that seems impossible, the other person is already feeling the weight of seeking you out. That cure that doctors say doesn't exist is already coursing through your cells right now. That urgent financial provision is already being processed from a source you can't even imagine. That love you thought you'd lost forever is already being redirected back to you. The most beautiful thing about all this is that when the answer arrives completely, you'll understand why you needed to cry so much. You'll see that each tear had a purpose, was building something, was generating the spiritual pressure needed to break through the barriers. And then you'll thank me not only for the answer, but for the process, even for the tears. Tonight will be different. When you lie down, you won't cry out of despair, but out of anticipation. Because now you know the answer isn't just coming, it's already been sent. It's only a matter of hours or days before it manifests in the physical world. Keep your eyes open and your heart prepared. Type, "It's coming," if you receive this prophetic word for your life. Like now if you believe your tears have already produced the answer, and share it urgently with someone who needs to know that their cries were not in vain. The dawn will bring the promised joy. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. This is not just a poetic promise, it is an immutable spiritual law. Every night of tears is guaranteed a dawn of joy, and yours is about to dawn. I can see it from here. The sun of your new season is already on the horizon, about to break forth and illuminate all that was in darkness. The tears you shed were seeds, and every seed planted with tears is harvested with overflowing joy. You planted them in the dark, in silence, in solitude, but you will harvest them in the light of day with celebration, surrounded by witnesses who will marvel at your transformation. Those who saw you cry in secret will see you smile in public, and they will ask, "What happened to you?" And you will have so much to tell that you won't know where to begin. The dawn I am preparing for you is not ordinary. It is a dawn of multiplied restitution. For every night you cried, you will have mornings of laughter. For every tear of pain, you will have tears of joy. For every loss that made you cry, you will have gains that will overflow with gratitude. The mathematics of the kingdom always multiplies the reward beyond what was lost. I can already see you in a few months. You look different. Your eyes shine in a new way. Your smile is genuine, coming from within. Your peace is palpable. Everyone around you can feel it. You've become a living testament to the fact that I transform valleys of tears into fountains of blessings. People will seek you out to understand how you overcame, and you'll have a powerful story to tell. But best of all, you will never cry alone again. Even if tears come again, and they will because they are part of the human journey, you will never again feel abandoned by them, because now you know with absolute certainty that I am there, that I see every tear, that I work while you cry, that I transform your pain into power, that I use your tears as raw material for miracles. The cycle is closing. The night's tears have served their purpose. They broke what needed to be broken, washed what needed to be cleansed, watered what needed to grow. Now is harvest time, time for celebration, time to experience all that you cried and prayed for, time to experience the faithfulness of the one who never abandoned you, not even in the darkest nights. Over the next 40 days, you will experience a sequence of glorious sunrises. Each day will bring a surprise, a blessing, an answer. It will be so intense and so fast that you will barely have time to process one blessing before the next arrives. Everything that was held back, everything that was delayed, everything that was blocked, it will be released at once, and you will understand that it was worth the wait, worth the tears, worth the trust. If you're ready to trade your nights of tears for dawns of joy, type "Dawn has come" in the comments. This is your declaration that the time for tears is over and the time for laughter has begun. What you didn't know until now is that every tear shed in the silence of your room was writing the most beautiful story of overcoming I've ever seen. You thought you were just surviving the difficult nights, but you were actually building a testimony that will inspire multitudes. Your secret tears produced a strength you can't yet fully measure, but which will manifest in the most crucial moments of your life. From now on, when night falls and that urge to cry hits, you will no longer feel alone. You will know that I am there, not just as an observer, but as an active participant in your pain, transforming it into purpose. Your tears will never again be wasted, because now you understand their value in the spiritual realm. This is the end of one era and the beginning of another. The era of solitary weeping is officially over. What begins now is the era of abundant harvest, of open doors, of fulfilled dreams, of answered prayers. You cried like no one saw, but you will smile like everyone will see. You suffered anonymously, but you will be exalted publicly. Before I close, I want you to take a piece of paper right now and write, "My tears were worth it." Keep this paper, because soon you'll look at it and cry again. But there'll be tears of gratitude for everything I've experienced in your life since this moment. The turning point began the very moment you started watching this video, and it will unfold in the coming days in ways that will surprise even you. Don't forget to come back here to testify. This channel will continue to be your place to meet me. New messages will come. New directions will be given. New seasons will be announced. Subscribe, activate the bell, because what lies ahead is even greater than what you've experienced so far. Your tears have opened portals you can't even imagine. Now, as I promised, I whisper to your heart the word that will change everything. Write it in the comments as a confirmation of faith and a seal of your new season. The word is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Write this declaration now, for it will mark the end of your nights of lonely weeping and the beginning of your days of overflowing joy. I will be with you, always have been, always will be. Your tears move me, and my answer is already in your hands.